Hi folks. Today let's talk about retirement stats. You know, most people don't really know what the numbers are behind retirement. You know, how much do people actually save? What's the average retirement income? And how prepared are we for retirement as a whole? Today I'm breaking down the real retirement stats you need to know. So let's just jump right in and get started. Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans have nothing saved for retirement? Let me just say that again. 1 in 4 Americans have nothing saved for retirement. That's scary. The median retirement savings for people between the ages of 55 and 64, $134,000. You know, over a 20-year retirement, that's only about $560 a month. That's not nearly enough. So how much do retirees actually live on? The average Social Security check in 2025 is about $1,900 per month. That's $22,800 a year. This doesn't include pensions, savings, or part-time jobs. This is just strictly Social Security, $22,800 a year. Here's the kicker. About 40% of retirees rely almost entirely on Social Security just to get by. That's why lifestyle adjustments like downsizing housing, budgeting carefully, and avoiding debt are so critical nowadays. Now let's talk about the other side, expenses. The average retiree household spends about $52,000 a year. So let's go back to that $22,800. You multiply that times 2 if you have a spouse living with you. That comes out to $45,600 a year. Subtract that from the $52,000 that you're going to spend, you're $6,400 short just to start off with. If you divide that $6,400 by 12 months, that's $533 a month. So yes, somebody needs to be working a part-time job. The biggest expenses, housing, about 35%, and healthcare, that's another big one. And I'm going to come back to these two before this video is over because I've got some disagreeing to do. Don't forget longevity. The average lifespan or expectancy is about 77 years old. But here's the good news. If you make it to 65, there's a good chance you'll live into your 80s. Of course, that means your money's going to have to last an extra 25 to 30 years, too. So here's an interesting stat. About 20% of people over 65 are still working, and I'm one of them. Some work because they want to. That's their hobby. Some people work because they have to, because one, their savings and Social Security just aren't enough. In fact, surveys show that half of Americans expect to work part-time in retirement. So let's pull it all together. A quarter of Americans have no savings. Most rely mostly on Social Security, which averages under $2,000 a month. Expenses, especially housing and health care, remain high. And people are living longer than ever before. That's the reality. And it's why planning, saving, and making smart financial choices is so important. So, okay, let's go back to this housing and healthcare. Now, whoever they are, say that housing takes 35% of your income. I can't find anything on the internet that really breaks it down and tells me what's included in that 35%. We're in a good position. We're lucky. Our house is paid for. We live in a 55 plus retirement community. We do pay a $458 a month co-op fee. So $458 a month times 12 months comes out to just under $5,500 a year that we're paying to live in this community. But that's not 35% of our annual income. So again, these experts, Are they saying that your housing is going to include your utilities, your electric, your water, your sewer, your trash? What does it include? I can't find anything that breaks it down. So I'm going to say 35% for housing if you own your home. If you're still making house payments, then yeah, that very well may be. The best thing I can tell you is get your house paid off just as quick as you possibly can. The second thing, health care. I'm not going to get into what's right and what's wrong and what's better and what's worse. You can have standard Medicare. You can have an Advantage plan. You can have private insurance if you want. I'm sure that's going to be more expensive. You have standard Medicare. Parts A, Part B. Part A is free. Part B you pay for. You can get a supplement. Part C and Part D I know of. They cost. Or you can go with an Advantage plan. A lot of people say Advantage plans are awful. Don't get involved in it. Well, my wife and I are on an Advantage plan. We did a lot of research. We relied on a lot of people for a lot of information. And we made what we felt was the best choice for us as far as health care. Let me just say this. My wife and I are both type 2 diabetics. I actually take an insulin injection every night. My wife does not. She just gets by on medication. If you have standard Medicare, I believe they deduct $185 a month from your Social Security. This is for Part B. $185 a month. We have an Advantage plan. They deduct $185 from our Social Security each month, but our insurance company reimbursed us everything except for $10.30. So for $20.60 a month, my wife and I have full health care. Our medication, most of our medications, all the medication that is deemed basic, I can't think of what the term is, but maintenance medication, there's no charge to us. Because I am on insulin, I get charged like $10 a month for my insulin pens. Let me say this. We are not on Medicaid, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Medicaid. It's there for people that need it, and I think that's great. When I tell people this story, their first reaction is, oh, well, you're on Medicaid. You can't possibly not have $185 taken out of your check each month. I don't know what to tell you, folks, but we're not on Medicaid. We are on an Advantage plan. It costs us $10.30 a month each. Our maintenance medications are free. I pay $10 a month for my insulin. As a matter of fact, my wife 3 weeks ago had a detached retina. So we went to the eye doctor. We went to a specialist. We paid $10 to see a specialist. He said, we need to do surgery. They scheduled the surgery. I took her to the hospital. It was day surgery. So we went in the morning, and as soon as the surgery was out and she left recovery, they discharged her. We paid a total of $60 for her eye surgery. So I have no complaints on that whatsoever. So far, knock on wood, we're very happy with our Advantage plan. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just saying, for us, it's worked out well. We've never been denied service. We've never been denied treatment or medication. If we call our insurance company up and say, hey, this is what we need to do, they say, okay, let's get it done. Who do you need to go see, and we'll make the change. There's never been any question. So I honestly can't see where, now granted, as we get older, more things are going to happen, more things are going to go wrong, health issues are going to get worse, and we'll probably have higher health care costs. Again, the experts, whoever they are, say that in retirement, a person is going to spend upwards of $300,000 for health care. Unless something drastic happens, I don't see that happening. And I may be looking at things wrong, but before I get on here, I do some research on the internet, and I'm not seeing it. So if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. So bottom line, folks, if you found this helpful, give me a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. At least share it with a friend that you think could possibly use this information. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this housing and healthcare situation. Folks, until next time, y'all be good to yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.